Welcome to the deep dive. So you're planning that Maui trip, landing at Kahului Airport, OGG, right?
Yeah.
And now comes the car rental question. How do you get a good deal without just, drowning in websites?
That's exactly it. And that's what we're digging into today. We've gone through some pretty recent price surveys and customer reviews, specifically for Maui OGG.
Right.
The idea is to pull out the really important stuff for you, make it quick, make it clear, no overwhelm.
Okay, so what's the time frame we're looking at here, data-wise?
Good question. The main price check was done just before a rental period starting July 22nd, 2024, literally the day before.
Wow, okay. Cutting it close.
Yeah, and the customer ratings, those are from around April 2024, so pretty recent snapshots. But, prices always move around. That's the nature of it.
Definitely. And we're covering, what, like different types of cars?
Yep, 7 categories, everything from small cars up to minivans, Jeeps, the whole lot.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's talk price first. Where were the cheapest deals showing up?
Okay, so based on that July survey, if you're okay with taking a shuttle, so off airport, ACE Rent-A-Car looked like the price leader generally.
Right. Off-airport often means lower base prices.
Exactly. Now, if you want the convenience of grabbing the car right there at the airport terminal, dollar car rentals seem to have the edge for that week we looked at starting July 22nd.
Okay, so give us some examples. ACE, off-airport, what do those prices look like?
Sure. So their wild card deal, where they picked the specific car model within a range that was super low, like $269.57 for the week.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And their small cars, standard cars, both came in around $274.97. If you needed something bigger, an SUV was about $443.62. And, well, minivans are always pricier. That was $1,135.96.
Okay, and what about on-airport? You mentioned dollar being competitive.
Yeah. So with dollar, right at OGG, their wild card was $329.46. Small car, $348.23. Standard car, same as the wild card, $329.46. But here's where it gets interesting. For other types of vehicles at the airport, different companies actually popped up as cheapest. Well, for a convertible, maybe cruise the Honda Highway. Thrifty had the best listed price at $988.58.
Oh, okay.
If you were thinking, maybe some slightly rougher roads, a Jeep from Budget was lowest at $627.72. And Budget also had the cheapest minivan on airport at $251.03.
And SUVs. They're popular there.
Right. For an SUV right at the airport, Thrifty was looking good again, $427.75.
So it really depends on the car type, even within the on-airport options.
Totally. And one more thing on specific cars. If you've got your heart set on a Jeep or a convertible, SixT and Fox, which are off-airport,
Right.
They also showed up with some pretty competitive prices in those categories.
So another reason to check both on and off-airport, especially for the specialty vehicle.
You got it. It really underlines that, the best deal isn't one size fits all. Dollar might be cheapest for a basic car on airport, but maybe Thrifty or Budget beats them for an SUV or minivan there.
And SixT or Fox off-airport for the fun stuff?
Potentially, yeah. It absolutely pays to compare both locations and your specific car category. Don't just assume.
Yeah, and the people who did this survey, they actually made a point about that, right? That off-airport isn't always cheaper.
Exactly. They mentioned seeing times in the past where maybe surprisingly a Jeep or an SUV was actually a tiny bit more expensive off-airport. So, yeah, do that quick comparison. It takes minutes.
Good tip. And the timing of the survey being done just one day before the rental, what does that tell us?
Well, it kind of suggests that sometimes, maybe often, the best prices might actually pop up very close to the rental date.
A bit of a gamble, though, maybe. Less availability.
Could be. It's a risk-reward thing. Booking last minute might save cash, or you might find limited options.
Okay, so that's the snapshot from last July. But we also have some more recent info, little updates.
Yeah, just some quick hits from some blog posts tracking the trends. As of May 11th this year, 2025, they were saying prices seem to be near 52-week lows.
Oh, interesting. Good news for travelers now, maybe.
Potentially. And also, good news on taxes as of May 1st, 2025, look like no new Maui-specific car rental taxes were coming in for 2025.
Always nice to avoid extra fees.
Definitely. And those blogs were even mentioning some great deals around late April, early May this year. So, while our specific dollar figures are from July 24, these recent bids suggest the market might still be pretty favorable.
Right, gives us a sense of the current climate. Okay, so that's price. But price isn't everything, is it? What about the actual experience, customer satisfaction?
Crucial point. Yeah, we looked at Google reviews for the OGG locations, data pulled back in April 2024.
And who came out on top? Who are people liking?
Well, there were some clear standouts. National had a really strong rating, 4.7 stars, and that's from like over 1,200 reviews.
Wow, that's solid.
Very solid. And right behind them, basically tied at 4.6 stars, you had Alamo with a ton of reviews, over 3,000, and Enterprise, also 4.6 stars, over 1,600 reviews.
Okay, National, Alamo, Enterprise. The big names often associated with maybe slightly higher quality.
Often, yeah. And SixT also did pretty well, 4.2 stars. Decent number of reviews, too.
Okay, so how do the price leaders we talked about earlier stack up, like ACE, Dollar, Thrifty?
See, that's where the trade-off becomes really clear. ACE, often cheapest off-airport, their rating was 3.6 stars.
Okay, noticeably lower.
Yeah. And Budget, Dollar, and Thrifty, often cheap on-airport options, they were even lower. Up Budget at 2.6, Dollar at 2.9, Thrifty at 2.8.
2-point-something stars, that's not great.
It's quite a gap from the 4.6s and 4.7s, isn't
Yeah.
it? And Payless was at the bottom with 2.1 stars.
So you could save money, but you might be rolling the dice a bit on the experience, wait times, car condition, service.
That's likely what it comes down to, yeah. Those higher ratings probably reflect smoother pickups, better cars, maybe fewer hassles with billing,
Makes sense. And these ratings are specifically for the Maui airport locations, right? Not national averages.
Super important point.
Right.
Yes, these are just for OGG. Your experience with, say, budget in your hometown might be totally different. Local management, staffing, how busy they are.
Yeah.
It all plays a role.
Okay, so we've got prices, we've got satisfaction scores, often pointing in opposite directions. How does someone actually choose? This is the balancing act.
It really is. And the blog, where we got a lot of this info, they actually tackled that. They tried to name an overall pick, considering both sides.
What's their conclusion?
They landed on SixT.
SixT. Interesting. They weren't the absolute cheapest nor the absolute highest rated.
Exactly. Their thinking seemed to be that SixT hits a kind of sweet spot. Prices that are often quite competitive, but with reviews that are generally pretty positive, that 4.2 rating we mentioned, a good balance.
So maybe not the rock bottom price, but less risk of a bad experience compared to the really cheap options.
That seems to be the rationale, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a best of both worlds attempt.
And the folks behind this blog, they also have their own booking site.
They do, yeah. It's called Frank's Friendly Cars. The website is rentals.mauicarental.biz. And what's useful there is they actually list cars from a whole bunch of companies. ACE, Alamo, Avis, Budget, Dollar, Enterprise, Payless, SixT, Thrifty, all the ones we've been talking about.
So you can easily compare those different combinations of price and potential quality yourself.
Pretty much. And they cover different locations, too, not just the airport, Kahului Town, Kihei, Kaanapali, so it gives you broader options.
Right. So the main message seems to be, while SixT might be their pick for balance, there are actually quite a few companies that could offer you a good mix. You're not stuck with just one choice.
Absolutely. They emphasize that there are several other companies with compelling pricing and satisfaction ratings. It really comes down to what your priority is for your trip.
Okay, let's maybe sum up the key takeaways then.
Sure. So if rock bottom price is king for you, based on that July 24 data, check out ACE off airport or Dollar on airport.
Got it. But if a smoother, less stressful experience is worth more to you, then based on those April 24 reviews.
The National, Alamo, and Enterprise seem like the safer bets, the highest rated.
And for that middle ground, that balance.
SixT emerged as a strong contender for balancing cost and decent reviews.
Okay. But everyone needs to remember prices change, right? This data is a snapshot.
Absolutely crucial. We're talking July 2024 prices, April 2024 reviews. Things fluctuate. But the general tendencies of these companies, who tends to be cheaper, who tends to get better reviews, those might hold more steady.
Right. Trends often persist.
And if you want the absolute latest, week-to-week updates on prices or any news.
That blog you mentioned.
Yeah, mauicarental.biz blog. They post weekly updates, apparently. Good resource to check closer to your actual travel dates.
Definitely worth a bookmark. So really, the final step for anyone listening is to think, what's most important for my Maui trip?
Exactly.
Is it saving every possible dollar, even if it means maybe a bit more hassle? Or is paying a little extra worth the peace of mind that comes with, potentially better service and higher ratings?
Knowing that helps you narrow down which of these companies we've discussed is the best fit for you.
Makes perfect sense.
And once you have a better idea, you can head over to that booking site they run, rentals.mauicarental.biz, and actually compare the current deals for your dates and find that perfect car.
Great stuff. Hopefully this deep dive helps folks cut through the confusion a bit.
Yeah, hope it helps you find the right wheels for your Maui adventure.